BBC Radio Derby. We're into the second hour of tonight's programme, and in this hour we'll be finding out more about a Midlands music producer, Mukhtar Sahota. He makes his debut in producing a score for a full feature film in India. There we go. You know, the Indian community came from India to the UK, and now we're producing music for films back in India. That's what you call globalization. We'll be talking to Mukhtar Sahota from the famous Sahotas band of the 1980s and 90s about his film Ishq, My Religion, where he's scored the whole music for the film. These musicians making it into Punjabi movies, and that is the topic of my next discussion. So how do you get into Punjabi films? So how does a young guy from the Midlands, who was in one of the big iconic bands of the 80s and 90s, then start producing music for Indian films? Well, Mukhtar Sahota has done just that. He's produced a full score in the film Ishq, My Religion, which was released on Friday, I believe, and he joins me on the line now. Mukhtar, I'm almost nervous now talking to you. Good evening.
Good evening, Sati. How are you?
I am fine. Now, I remember you from the 80s and 90s when we used to hang around as a young lad, and now you are rubbing shoulders with the glitterati from India. How did you do that? I'm still in the studio here.
It's been a long journey. So, like with everything, you just get better at what you do, and more people recognize and appreciate, my music and whatnot.
We've been monitoring your kind of rise over the last few years, the tracks that you've released, and then your slow entry into films by producing the odd track, and now you've done the full score for the film. Tell us a bit about the film.
Yeah, I've worked on a film called Judge James Bond, and it's the same director and producer from that movie. And they were really impressed with the songs that I did for that movie, and they said on the next movie they wanted me to do the full soundtrack, which I was really chuffed about. And basically that's how it started. And then we sat down and we spoke about the film, about the script, about the whole storyline, and what kind of songs and, what style of songs we're going to be recording for this film. So that's basically how it came about, really. That was the starting point.
Now, you're a Bhangra rock music producer, as I like to call you, because, your music is very, very heavy and very rocky in the traditional sense. But Punjabi films, that they go for a different sound. Did you have to compromise what, you like doing, or did it just come naturally to you?
Well, I think you have to compromise to a certain degree, because with film music, it's kind of, putting the audio across to work with the visuals. So you can't go crazy with, a different style of genre altogether, and it doesn't match what's going on in the film. So, everything is explained, the storyboard and everything, and I have to make a few adjustments here and there, but it's enjoyable for me to be working on something different all the time.
Go on, carry on.
Yeah, than doing something that I normally do as my solo project. So, it's always exciting work. And then I get to work with different artists that I probably wouldn't work with on a solo project.
And that was going to be my next question. What was it like kind of, working with a range of vocalists? Because you've got to modulate your music to suit them as well, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. It's very important that the music complements, the voice, whoever's singing on the track as well. And, working with such an array of artists on this film, it was a fantastic experience for me to be able to, talk to them through the song and, bounce ideas back and forth and everything. So, it was a really great experience.
It seems like a global project. You're based here. Did you have to go there, or did you produce the music and the singers were there and the producer is there, the actors are somewhere else? It's almost like a big team which is spread out around the world.
That's right, yeah. That's so true, because the film was filmed in so many different locations, and then the music was taking place in different locations, as in like the singers were in different studios around India, and outside India. And then I'm based here in the Midlands, putting it all together kind of thing. So, and a lot of live video linking with the studios while the singers were recording. So it was pretty much like I'm sitting there with them really in the studio.
Okay, the film is in the cinemas. Have you seen it yet?
Yes, I've seen it. Yes, I went on Friday in the first showing.
Okay, tell me, Mukhtar, and I'm really interested in finding this out. When you were sitting there with the audience, watching the film, were there kittens in your tummy before the song came? I wonder how it's going to sound like in the theatre.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you're always kind of a little bit nervous, thinking, I wonder how it's going to come across, and with the film and then the sound and all the mixing, because there's a different kind of mix that they do for cinema. So you're always a little bit weary that they haven't messed with your music in any way. So, but I was really pleased. I mean, they did exactly what we had planned, and the music came across extremely well. And I really enjoyed the film as well, because it's not your typical sort of Punjabi film. A lot of people that were coming out were saying it's very much like a Bollywood movie. So, I do urge your listeners and anybody who hasn't seen the film to really go out and check it out and see for yourself.
Mukhtar, we're running out of time, but I am so pleased. I know you're pleased, but we're even more pleased to see one of our own guys making it successful back in India as well. So well done on behalf of all of us, really. And is it okay if we claim credit for your success as well?
Of course you can. Yeah, I mean, look where we started.
Because I like to go around. I like to go around telling people, we're good mates. We've all kind of went on this journey together. Mukhtar, thank you so much.
Course, yeah.
And
thanks so much for having me.
We're going to follow you. Whatever you do, we'll be right behind you.
No, that means so much to me. Thanks very much.
And here is a track.
Ishq da rog hada vich rachda ang ang de vich paabad machda edi peed avaliya se jis tan lage oh nahi ho bachda इश्क दिया पीड़ा हाय इश्क दिया पीड़ा इश्क दिया पीड़ा जो जरिया न जावण इश्क दिया पीड़ा हाय जरिया न जावण दिल दिया मर्जा ने कदे फड़िया न जावण इश्क दिया पीड़ा जो जरिया न जावण दिल दिया मर्जा ने कदे फड़िया न जावण इश्क 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 दिया पीड़ा इश्क 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 दिया पीड़ा इश्क दे पाए हुए ना मुकदे से आपे रूहां नू रखदा है दम दम तड़पा के इश्क दे पाए हुए ना मुकदे से आपे रूहां नू रखदा है दम दम तड़पा के शिव नू छड्या हिजर दी सूली चढ़ा के फुल्ले नू नचाया पैरी घुंघरू पवा के जनून बाजो इश्क जंगा लड़िया ना जावण इश्क दिया पीड़ा जो जरिया न जावण दिल दिया मर्जा ने कदे फड़िया न जावण इश्क दिया पीड़ा हाय जरिया न जावण दिल दिया मर्जा ने कदे फड़िया न जावण इश्क 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 दिया पीड़ा इश्क 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 दिया पीड़ा
The music from Ishq, My Religion, produced by Mukhtar Sahota, who's talking to us just a while ago. Ishq Diya Peeda is the name of that track. Brings us to the travel news.